Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another exciting meeting at Interpersonal Toastmaster. At Interpersonal, it's always about you and how you can improve yourself and become a better version of yourself. Today we have a great theme, how we can move just by 2% and act, achieve all our dreams. And today we have this wonderful woman in the room, Toastmaster Grace, as a Toastmaster of the day, who is going to help us, guide us to see how we can achieve them the 2% way. Toastmaster Grace.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu. Today's meeting is about the 2% way, and that is our theme for today. So what is 2% way? Basically, the 2% way or philosophy comes from the life story of Dr. Myron L. Royer. Does anyone heard of him? Is he familiar to you? Good. Dr. Myron Royer, he is a well-known football player. He played in the NFL in 2018. And then he turned from being a football player to a renowned doctor, neurosurgeon. And he wrote this book entitled The 2% Way. So what is really about the 2% way? So according to him, this philosophy he gained when he was still an athletic player in high school, and he learned it from his coach. And it says that when you do things, you don't do changes overnight, but you have to make incremental or small changes because it can lead to long-lasting results. Here it says that you have to have a daily minor improvements that are tangible. For instance, here in Toastmasters, every week, you try to get roles. Doesn't necessarily be a speaking role, but assume some roles like a timer, a counter, grammarian. These are things that will help you because it practices you every time to speak, and then later on, it will help your speaking skills. Today's meeting is divided into 3 sections. The first one is the prepared speeches. We have 2 speakers today who will talk about something that they have prepared. And then the next section is the impromptu section, wherein our table topic master will ask questions and we are to answer in 1 to 2 minutes. And then the last section of this meeting will be the evaluation section, wherein we will know, based from the feedback, how we can improve. This improvement will help us, small improvements will help us to become better in life, in our speaking, and our leadership skills. Without further much ado, let me call on my tag team. What is a tag team? If you don't know it, it would be the timer, the counter, and the grammarian. They will help us in improving our Toastmasters meeting today. First, I will call the grammarian, which is Toastmaster Aichana, to speak about the word of the day and also her role. And then moving on, let's move on with Anna, who will be the accounter, and then finally Manoj, our timer. Toastmaster Aichana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Grace, and greetings to everybody. So today, I'm a grammarian today, and my role as a grammarian today is to, as you see, I was using the fillers like are right now. So my role today is to pay attention to the speakers and also make notes of good usages of grammars, and also some words, some good usages, and also some areas which need improvement, make notes, and also provide the update at the end of the meeting when I'm called upon. And as a responsibility today, I would also be introducing the word of the day, and my choice is atomic, which means it is irreducible unit. And the right usage of one sentence with the right usage of the word atomic is, I would say, to discipline myself, I have started with an atomic habit of folding my bed sheet after I wake up first thing in the morning. So this would be one good usage of the word atomic. And I would say learning never exhausts the mind. So let's keep learning and sharing with each other. So thank you, Toastmaster Grace. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Archana. And now we move on with our counter, Toastmaster Anna.
Hello, everyone. I'm pleased to be a counter for today's meeting. My responsibility as a counter, I will take notes and pay attention to some filler words you used during you deliver the speech. And at the end of the meeting, I will give you our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna. Now we move on with our timer, Toastmaster Manoj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Grace. Hi all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening with your respective times. So in life, when we are speaking about a topic, we tend to be involved a lot. And in Toastmasters, we are given a platform where we can speak on our choice. And when we got involved, we tend to lose the track of time. Today, I'm here to help you to track your time. So I'll be tracking your time as per the guidelines of your speech, as per the guidelines of table topics, as per the guidelines of evolution. And I'll be giving you green, yellow, and red cards on my screen. So as per that, you can have a track of your time, and this is my duty. And I'll come back with my report when the Toastmaster of the day calls me at the end of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manoj. So let's move forward with the first part of our Toastmasters meeting tonight, which I always said it's a prepared speech. And so let me call on the first evaluator, Susan, to talk about the speech for tonight. Toastmaster Susan.
Thank you. Jim will be presenting his feedback and evaluation project, speech number 2. This is a level 1 project, 5 to 7 minutes for the timer. Jim will be representing a speech he gave previously and try to incorporate some of the beneficial advice he got and feedback within this particular presentation. The speech title is Gratitude Squared. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Jim, Gratitude Square, Toastmaster Jim.
When I last spoke to you all on December 15th about my beautiful mom, I was afraid because she seemed to be a woman who it seemed was resigned to dying, for lack of a better term. She wasn't eating, she wasn't drinking, and she was very weak. And that attitude on my mom's part was such a departure because during my childhood, although my mom wasn't able to raise us because of the severity of her mental illness, she was always there to serve as a kind of cheerleader. And what that meant for me was that as a child who fell a lot because of cerebral palsy, and I was clumsy during my childhood, I have to admit that. But she would always say, "Get up, boing, boing." She called me boing, boing, so that when she would try to exhort me to get up, do it, boing, boing, like a spring would just spring up. And she was trying to encourage me to get up when I fell. But it wasn't only for those times that I fell. she also had that smile and encouragement for everything that I would do, whether it's in school or what have you. That's the most enduring memory that I have of my mom during my childhood, as just a cheerleader, a constant source of support. And the other thing that was apparent or in the air on December 15th was, well, the day before, on December 14th, I had decided to write to my sister, who I had not heard from because we've been very distant from each other over the past several years, and I didn't have her address and I didn't have her phone number. A friend of mine at work just said, "Oh, Jim, let me do a search for you." And we came up with one address, and I wasn't sure whether it was accurate or not. And I wasn't even sure that my sister was going to respond if it was the right address. But I said, I have to try anyway, because I just thought that I just can't give up. So I wrote the letter December 14th. I mailed it out. It was very, very short and simple. I hope you're well. Mom is not doing well. She may not have much time to live. And here's my phone number if you want to reach out to me. That's all the letter said. December 18th, a Sunday, the football games were on and I'm getting ready to go see my mom. The phone rings. It's my sister, Adrian. And the thing that I remember most about our short conversation is when she said, "Thank you. Thank you so much for finding me." You can't imagine how gratifying that made me feel. That took away 7 years of just no contact, 7 years of whatever the feelings were between us, and it just all melted away. And then the very next day, she went down from Northern New York to visit my mom for the first time in many a year. My mom was thrilled. And then my brother, a day after that, came down to visit, and he has problems visiting mom more often because he's got real anxiety. But he visited her too. So all three of her kids, and I visit her like 3 times a week on average. So she saw all 3 of her kids around Christmas time and around New Year's time too. But she still wasn't eating on Christmas. She was still weak. Tuesday, December 27, I go to visit her after work. And as I walk in, I wanted to be sure that I saw what I saw. I thought I saw a figure of her putting a fork in her mouth. But I didn't want to say anything at that point. The nurse came in. "Oh, Mr. Danson, you would be very happy. Your mom has started to eat again." Well, you can only imagine how thrilled I was and how proud of my mom I was, because she was kind of exhibiting one of the takeaways that I want to express for tonight. And that one is to never give up, to never give up on those that you love, especially yourself. I have a theory. I think that mom started eating again because once she saw the 3 of us in the flesh, I think that did more for her than can be imagined. I think it was that reassurance that made her think, "Oh, yeah, my kids do love me after all." Now, like I say, I visit her 3 times a week on average, and every time I go, it makes my day. But I go for another reason. Think about how many times during a day do you go somewhere, and when you walk into that place, wherever it is, Are the people really glad to see you? And do they really tell you that they're glad to see you? I'll bet that it doesn't really happen all that much, but it does for me. Every time I see my mom, I'm greeted with that big smile. Oh, hey, dear. Thank you. Thank you, dear, for coming. I appreciate it so much. That means the world, because I go there to cheer her up and she ends up doing the same for me. So that's another takeaway that I have for tonight. Well, the last time I spoke, one of the takeaways was to pull your loved ones close, tell them how much you love them. Yes. And that always has to be at the heart of it. But again, don't give up. If you're out of communication with those that you love, maybe take the first step. It might take a little effort on your part, but I'm a living example that it really can work out. And if you do it, and if it does work out, well, it's an example of what I'm speaking about tonight. It's another example of gratitude squared. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that wonderful and heartwarming speech, Toastmaster Jim. Now let me give 1 minute for everyone for Jim's evaluation. Now, let me call on the second evaluator, Toastmaster Piyush, to introduce the second speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The second speaker of the day is Toastmaster Sangeeta. She has been making progress in improving her presentation skill. And to say the least, this particular speech is going to be the atomic milestone in her presentation mastery. This is a level 1 project, evaluation and feedback, and the speech title is Ikagai, Secret to a Long and Happy Life. If I pronounce the word incorrectly, I'm sure she will have the chance to correct it. Back to you, Toastmaster Grace.
Ikagai, secret to Toastmaster Sangeeta. Ikagai, secret to a happy and long life. Ikagai, secret to a happy and long life. Toastmaster Sangeeta.
Thank you, Grace. What if I tell you the secret to a happy and long life? More so, what if I told you there are people who exactly follow these and are living for more than 100 years happily? Yes, you're right. The secret is Ikigai. And I'm talking about the people of Okinawa Island of Japan. Ikigai is the heart of Okinawa's culture for ages, and that's what makes their population known for highest centenaries living in the world. So what is Ikigai? What is Ikigai? What does it mean? Ikigai is a Japanese concept that comes from 2 symbols called Iki, meaning to live, and Gai, meaning reason. So therefore, Ikigai translates to reason to live, synonymously to say the purpose of life, the reason for being, the purpose in life. So each individual's Ikigai is personal and specific to their values, beliefs, and their life experiences. It reflects their inner self and creates a mental state in which the individual feels at ease. Finding and embracing our ikigai is one of the first steps to a long and a happy life. Without it, you would definitely be wandering throughout your life, holding on to material possessions, dwelling in the past, or on pondering over the future. So let us understand how we can find our ikigai. There are 4 questions that we can ask to ourselves to figure out what our ikigai is. Firstly, what do I love? What are my interests? What are my passions? What is something that makes us forget time and space, food, and everything, that we get so involved in it? That is what we love. The second thing is, what am I good at? What are my strengths? What are my skills? What do I have unique talents in me? Understanding this is by asking, what am I good at? What does the world need? Understanding what the world needs and contributing back to society makes us feel needed and appreciated. It gives a sense of satisfaction. What can I get paid for? So that we can make a living out of what we love, what we are good at, and by contributing what we can offer to the world. So by the image you can see here, ikigai is the intersection, or is the common answer to these 4 questions. So finding ikigai comes from understanding ourselves, our unique life missions, and it often takes time. It's not an easy task, and it also changes as we grow and evolve over time. It may not be easy to find it overnight, but however, the more determined we are in finding our ikigai, the sooner we will find it. This is a core part of understanding what ikigai is, but it is not complete without including the 10 rules of ikigai in our life. The first one, find and follow your ikigai. So we have understood how we can figure out what our ikigai is by answering the 4 questions. After finding our ikigai, we can make it the way of our life, but by including it in our lifestyle. This would also bring atomic changes in our lives. Second rule, take it slow. When you leave emergency behind, life and time take on a new meaning. So don't get caught up in hustle and bustle of everyday life. Take a moment, slow down, be mindful so you can enjoy all that you have to do. Don't fill your stomach. Yes, to live a long life, it's important that you eat in good quantity, not too much, not too little. Eat a little less than what actually your hunger demands, so that you feel full and so that you feel light and energetic, but not too full and lethargic. Surround yourself with good friends. Friends are the best medicines you can get. They are there for confiding, sharing stories, getting advice, having fun, dreaming, and in other words, living your life. So make sure you have true friends. They're the ones who stick by you through your thick and thin. Smiling. Yes, smiling is a way to stay positive and motivated. Smiling lowers your heart rate and reduces blood pressure while also relaxing your body. Reconnect with nature. Spending time in nature, surrounded by lush green, can create positive emotions and calm our nervous system. Try to reconnect with nature as often as possible and give thanks. Gratitude increases our happiness levels. Practicing gratitude reduces stress and anxiety levels. It is also found that people who practice gratitude have higher level of well-being and satisfaction in their lives. Exercise. Exercise doesn't mean you have to hit the gym and do intense workouts. Not at all. It means you need to include light, regular movement throughout the day at atomic level. Live in the moment. Be so involved in your any activities that nothing else matters. It is characterized by sense of focus and effortless concentration. Live in the moment, enjoy the moment. There is no past, no future, just now. And never retire. The idea is to keep your mind and body active and fill yourself with purpose and ikigai in your everyday life. So never retire. Keep learning, keep growing, keep evolving. So let us wish that we all find our ikigai and follow and inculcate in our daily habits. Live an intentional, purposeful, long and a happy life, contributing to the world and making a world a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful speech about Ikigai. Surely this can be part of our atomic habits to have a long and live a long and healthy life. Now, let me ask for another minute for everyone to give their evaluation for our second speaker, Sangeet.
Sangeeta, can you stop sharing?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know. It's just what's happening. Yeah, I'm still not able to stop. Am I still sharing or is it?
I remove that.
Okay. Thank you.
Indeed, part of having this 2% way is also building a purpose and meaning, which was already given during the speech of our second speaker. It says that it's really important for us to always find our sense of purpose and meaning because our life is not our own. If you want to move towards the direction of your goal, you should be able to know that those goals should also affect the other people. And so you have to always lean on the foundation of your faith that no matter whatever changes, because of your sense of purpose and meaning, you'll be able to achieve those things. And so, let me call on our table topic master as we move forward to the second part of our meeting, which is the impromptu speaking. May I call on our table topic master Raghu to take it away. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Grace. Life is all about improv. As one of my friends says, life is not a prepared speech. It's all about those impromptu moments. And people put you on spot. Maybe wife, maybe your spouse, maybe your husband, maybe your children, or maybe your boss, maybe your client. To prepare for those moments, these table topics are rather the session is going to help you for that. You all know that, but just trying to remind you that speak for at least 1 minute and then maximum time allocated is 2.5 minutes. 2 minutes, but then 30 seconds the case. With that note, let's have fun. This time it's going to be some wonderful topics. 2% way. We'll use that as a theme and rather try to implement that as a theme. Diana, the topic for you is how will you use 2% way to improve yourself in Toastmasters? You can start typing then I'm going to lower your hand and move to the next speaker. Let me ask Archana. We'll use it a little, rather, we'll make it fun. The topic for you is, why do empty vessels make lot of noise? Why do empty vessels make lot of noise? Toastmaster Archana.
It's an interesting topic, be it in kitchen or in the social life, right? We see a lot of people, the people who, it's definitely communication skills are the best, but what I would say is if you really look at few people who are really sound, be it scientists, be it philosophers, or be it experienced people, be it sages, they try to be as silent as possible because knowledge is all in them, but they speak only when the situation arises and speak at the right time. However, we see many people, like maybe I would be also one among them, who speak a lot, but probably like, the real content could be like, to a certain extent. So all I would like to say to echo to the word, empty vessels make more sound, is this could be one example. And in the similar lines, we also see in our daily life, our the part of India, people use this word like, gold doesn't make sound. However, there are some metals which make huge sound, right? So this has been ingrained in us as a learning throughout our life, that wise people speak less and speak only when needed. However, the more beating the drums, etc., not always means that the person has knowledge or the situation has some weightage on it. This is something that I could speak spontaneously on this topic. Back to you, Toastmasters Raghu.
Thank you very much, Archana. Now, I'm going to give a controversial question. This is for Susan. Susan, if empty vessels make more noise, does that mean Toastmasters are empty vessels? If empty vessels make more noise, does that mean Toastmasters are empty vessels? Toastmasters.
May I just clarify the word empty what, please?
Vessels.
I'm still
Vessels.
having trouble. Vessels, empty vessels. Got it. Okay, thank you. Sorry, little bit of hearing, senior. Do empty vessels make more noise? It's interesting, but if you take a musician's tool, such as a vase, and you fill it with water, and you tap it on the side, it doesn't make as much noise as if it were empty. And you'd clang on the ceramic, and it would make an accentuated amount of sound. So that really gets me thinking. For all the speaking roles that I do in Toastmasters, have I become an empty vessel? Because I'm giving it out, I'm pouring it out to others, and I make more noise? But I would digress and say I disagree. Because we fill ourselves, we nurture ourselves like food, drink, and friendships. I take it all in. I am so full. I am a filled vessel, overpouring with the excesses to offer to others. So as we would say, my cup runneth over, because it is so full, it's overflowing like a waterfall. I don't think Toastmasters are empty vessels. The empty vessels are those who sign up and don't show up. Mr. Topic Master.
We'll take on that, Susan. When was the last time that you felt Toastmasters are dramatic? Toastmaster Piyush. When was the last time that you felt Toastmasters are dramatic? Piyush.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. I would say there is a little bit of drama in one or more speeches, especially here, compared to one of my other clubs. And some of the drama is needed, like when you are trying to describe a situation, and if you don't use any emotions, it's very plain and probably not very much received by the audience. So you need to pour a little bit of drama, and it's needed. Like you can pour drama in terms of your vocal variety. Like when something is exciting, you show excitement, it comes up in your speech. When something is funny, you try a different tone, try to make it funny, and people know what's your intention when you're speaking that. So to summarize, yes, there is a bit of drama in most of the speeches and at most appropriate places. So it's pleasant. Hope that answers the question. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Piyush. Grass is always greener on the other side. When was the last time that you felt the other clubs are better than Interpersonal Toastmaster Sangeeta?
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. Well, I haven't actually attended other Toastmaster clubs to see how it goes on in the other ones.
Just speak anything. Don't need to talk. Same topic.
Yeah,
Okay.
grass is greener on the other side. That's quite a common way of saying, because you always get attracted to what you don't have. So you're always looking for things that you want to gain. You're always looking at what you don't have instead of appreciating what you have. So that's why you always get ideas that, oh, the one that I don't have is always pleasant. Others have that, but I don't have. So they are at a better position. You always tend to glorify the things that you don't have. So kind of feels that grass is greener on the other side. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta. We're just having fun. These topics are meant to just put some controversial question and then get the answers. Now,
Yeah.
I have my dear friend Diana answering her question. Atomic, I feel love Toastmasters get better speech in Toastmaster Club. With my disability in my life, improve the meeting and I feel inside powerful. Speak Atomic, my mood is value speech entire. Diana, I salute your spirit, always learning, irrespective of your disabilities, always trying to attend table topics, join every meeting that is possible. With that note, I conclude my session of table topics and put the control back to our dear Toastmaster Grace.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu. Now we are on the last part or last section of our meeting, which is the very important part of our meeting because that's when we learn. That's when we get feedback from one another and how we can improve it. Part of a 2% way is knowing those feedback and incorporating them into our next speeches, into our next thing that we do in Toastmasters, whether we speak or we take on roles. Now, let me call on the first evaluator, Toastmaster Susan, to give feedback to Toastmasters Jim's speech. Thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and especially Jim, I'd like to congratulate you for incorporating the feedback that you were given in your prior speech. Now, you also provided for me the last recording to know exactly that I could hear your speech again and hear the evaluation again. Thank you for doing that. That was so helpful, not having a written one, but having the recorded values so I could know what it is you were given as guidance. One of the things that was suggested to you was to improve the structure, where you went back and forth in time from front to the back to now and back again. And in this time, you gave us a very chronological format, very well organized. You started with the childhood, and that was another recommendation that was given, a little bit more about your mom as when you were a child. And I love the humor that she called you boing boing. And the fact that you acknowledge that you had a physical disability and that you were clumsy and you fell, but you persevered, and that you could look back with that with great fondness of being called boing boing. And I thank you for sharing that. That makes it just a little more tender. You also had the beautiful smile that you had on your face throughout your speech, even though it was very touching. And then you talked about mom's smile. Even before the meeting, we were talking about the smiles in everyone. It's nice when you notice the smiles in others. And so we enjoyed hearing about that. And you gave us some additional information from that last speech about reaching out to your sister and your brother, and that mom has taken a turn forward by eating again. And that was very comforting. I was this meeting with a little trepidation, waiting to hear now a different story, but you shared with us that mom has begun to eat, knowing that that has helped. And I'm so grateful to hear that. I also did not hear this time, but mom just celebrated her birthday 2 days ago. She turned 81. And that's delightful to hear, because on December 15th, you weren't sure she would have the privilege of making it. I commend you for using specific language that was so powerful. You were talking about your mom trying to help you and encourage you, and you said exhort you. That's a very strong, powerful word, and I appreciate that. You have a turn of a phrase that was very powerful. You spoke clearly. We understood. It was very emotional, and yet you persevered and kept going to give us this message. You talked about the gratifying throughout, but then some of the concerns that they melted away. That's also very picturesque. I appreciated hearing that. As always, Jim, the lessons that you closed with, never give up. You brought it in a little earlier this time, as you were recommended to do, but then you repeated it. You had 3 takeaways for us, and I won't run into time for that, but that one about never giving up is something that we will always remember. Gratitude squared, finishing the same as your title. Congratulations. I'm glad. Happy belated birthday to mom 2 days ago.
Thank you.
Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Susan, for that wonderful feedback for Toastmaster Jim. Now may I call on the second evaluator, Toastmaster Piyush, to give feedback to our second speaker, Toastmaster Sangita.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Grace. So first of all, congratulations, Toastmaster Sangita, on completing your first speech of the project Presentation Mastery. I would say it was a really good, well-organized content on Ikigai, and it has a really good message for all of us on how to be happy. The content was very clearly understood. You have used a variety, a bit of a vocal variety. For example, when it is about happiness, your vocal variety showed that it is something about being happy. When you are suggesting, like, this is how you have to be happy, it showed up in your vocal variety. The topic also, the way you presented, suggested that you have done good research in the book, and you have went through the 10 pointers that you have explained to us. There was also kind of the little bit of explanation that's super helpful. Like you put ikigai and you explained what each of these part means and how can we learn from it. Some of the vocal variety that you have used, it felt like you were singing, and it's all about happiness, and that vocal variety really went well with what you were saying. Some of the improvements that I would call out would be on the slides. So I would say that the slides were good. They were decent, much better than how I have done like some times ago. One of the improvements you can make in the slides is add less points and maybe more pictures. So for example, when you're saying smiling helps you in certain ways, instead of having maybe tree on the side and a couple of points on the other side, you can put a smiling face. And there are like a lot of good online resources to find something appropriate for smiling. So you can have less content, more picture, and maybe one or two quotes that goes with it. And yeah, in general, use a bit less material as possible. I know that this was a pretty engaging topic and you have pretty good content. So yeah, but try to challenge yourself and add less material and more picture, etc. Another thing I noticed, and I'm not sure if it's just the camera quality or the screen, but I noticed that you were looking down as if you were referring notes. So to challenge yourself, you might refer less to your notes and engage more with the audience. So to summarize, it was very good content, very, very well organized, clearly understood to people. You have used good amount of vocal variety. And in terms of improvement, you can make changes to the deck, have less content, the PPT, have less content, more images, and to challenge yourself, you can look at less of your notes. Congratulations again for completing the presentation. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster Grace.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster PS, for a good evaluation for Toastmaster Sangeeta's speech. Now, part also of our evaluation is also the reports of our tag team. So now, may I call on first our grammarian, how we did well with our grammars and the use of word of the day. Toastmaster Archana. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Grace. And here I'm back with the observations from the various speeches and table topics and overall observation on the grammar usage. Today, the word of the day today is atomic, and I have seen a couple of people using the word. So the ones that I've noted are Piyush, evaluator 2, and Grace, Toastmaster of the day, TMOD, and Diana has put the word of the day in her chat, in her conversation on the chat, and the other two have used in the flow of speech. And coming to the language usage, I have seen that Jim has used some words which were quite catchy, and in the flow of the speech, which is a departure, like a spring, cheerleader, gratifying, gratitude squared. These are the few that I have made note of, but I'm sure there are many more. Susan has used the word waterfall in the flow. It was really like, it looked wonderful in the speech flow. And the other one I've noted is Sangeeta. She has used the phrase grass on the other side is greener. So I feel these are a few of the good grammar usages. And overall, the meeting was amazing and everybody has done wonderful. That's all from my side. Back to Toastmaster Grace.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Archana. Now we can move on to our next report, which is the counter for us to know how we did with our filler words. Toastmaster Anna.
Hello again. Here is our report. I think everyone did good job maybe because you are excellent in English, I just noticed in table topic section, two persons, sometimes usually we didn't know what we want to say next, so we will use are. And also for the people, when they start to, before they start to deliver the speech, they will maybe unconsciously use are. So for so Piyush, you use 5 times when you in the table topic section, and for the speaker two, how to pronounce, sorry, hello.
Sangeeta?
Yes, you use the twice when you deliver the speech. For the other people, I didn't notice that you use so I think I'm the only person I need to improve in this aspect. And also thanks for everyone providing me this opportunity, because I find after I join in your meeting, maybe this is the first time, I think I can catch how to say 50% of what you said. I can use in this R role. So I want to be for the next meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anna. Now we move on with our timing. So may I call on our timer, Toastmaster Manoj.
Hi all. I'm back here with my timer report. And as a word of the day says, atomic, where something that cannot be further drilled down. So here, with respect to atomic, in our meeting is with respect to meet timer is 1 second. So 1 second is the atomic level for a Toastmaster timer. And in that atomic moment, we have one person who crossed it. You'll know it in my report. And Diana, sorry, it's my bad. When your speech is being spoken by Raghu, I not time it, but it's close to 1 minute is what I have seen. I not timed the exact time on that. It's my bad. Apologies for that. So with respect to the timers, timing, I have already put on the chart. It's speech 1, Jim. He has taken 7 minutes, 40 seconds, speaker 1. And the speaker 2, Sangeeta, has taken 7 minutes, 17 seconds. So the table topics, speaker 1, Archana, it's 1 minute, 50 seconds. Speaker 2, Susan, 1 minute, 28 seconds. Speaker 3, Piyush, it's 1 minute, 14 seconds. And Sangeeta, 1 minute, 15 seconds. And in the evaluation 1, Piyush, thanks for correcting me on that. Susan has taken 3 minutes, 39 seconds. And evaluation 2, Piyush, he has missed in the atomic level of 3 minutes, 31 seconds. So that's my timer report. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manoj. Now let me leave you with this, that no matter what obstacles comes our way, always remember to tackle life, that you are always moving in the right direction. Do not allow those obstacles to stop you from moving forward and being motivated and excited in whatever life gives you. And so always just do little bit, even small changes in your life, and surely you'll be able to achieve those things that you wanted. And so I end this meeting for tonight. Thank you all for coming.
Can we please have our officers stay for an additional 15 minutes? We do that, and you do want to have your schedule for next meeting, Grace? We'll
Yes.
end the recording and
Yes.
then gather our thoughts. Yes?
Yes, we can probably end that recording and then we can start knowing the...
Our feedback from our guests as well. I think
Okay.
Chana
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
guest. We want to make sure
Yeah.
we address.
Let's
Raghu, if
have-
you'd like to stop the recording. Or not? Okay.
Maybe let's ask for feedback from Archana and Anna too.
Yes, so I feel the meeting went really well overall, and it was seamless. It was just flowing. So that way, yeah, everything was perfect. The way each role was taken, the way the speakers presented, and the way evaluation happened. I mean, all parts of the meeting went really well. So yeah, I don't have anything specific to say that it, like, on the other side, but overall it was really good, and I'm happy to be part of this meeting.
Thank you for coming.
you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Anna?
She said she felt the meeting so well. Yes, good job. Thumbs up. We did good. Thank you. Raghu, if you'll stop the recording, we'll take our scheduling for our next meeting.